first item on this subject that I'd like to talk about is water. Many of you have read health books, and most of you have been told that a normal, healthy person should be drinking at least 8 glasses of water a day. This may be true. If you eat salted food, the salt has to be flushed out and bound to water to survive, for your body to survive. Secondly, protein, high protein diet. You need to flush out the kidneys because the protein caused terrible problems, the animal proteins. But the Gerson therapy says, don't drink water. Not only that, but when you're not on the therapy. Not only that, but the water itself is so unclean. It's polluted. It has all kinds of chemical damage. I hate to tell you, the London water, while in a way you're lucky it's not fluoridated, could be worse. But it has a whole lot of additives and chemicals, and even though they try to clean it, it isn't clean. The water needs to be clean. The least you have to do is go through a filter system, go through a reverse osmosis filter system, or better yet, especially if water is fluoridated, you can't remove the fluoride with filters. They go right through the membrane. You have to distill it. And that gets to be very nasty, because the distiller, either distilled water is expensive, or you get yourself your own distiller. You can make 2-3 gallons a day. You need an extra water outlet. You can't do it in your kitchen sink because then you can't use it for anything else. It's complex. It's not easy. But the water, now you're not going to drink water, so what do you use water for? When with the Gerson therapy we drink 13 glasses of juice, it's unwise to drink water. There isn't enough room. Not only that, but it is well established fact that chronic degenerative disease patients have poor stomach acid. They don't have enough. They have poor digestion, they have poor appetite, and water just dilutes this acid more. Just causes new troubles and new digestive problems. Juice, on the other hand, is food. It does not dilute the acid. Even helps to generate it. So, first of all, the first thing is, don't drink water if you do the Gerson therapy. The second thing is, if you do use water, and you'll be using water for various other things, be sure it's clean. At least filtered, or preferably yet distilled. Okay, now you will have read, and I know all about it, you will have read distilled water will leach minerals out of the body. Not true. Originally, people and animals would drink rainwater. That's distilled. The water, the minerals that are in water are inorganic, and they're very often useless, sometimes harmful. The sodium and calcium, they're not good for you. Not in inorganic form. What you want is the organic minerals that you find where in juice. Changed and converted by the plant and full of nutrients and enzymes so they can be properly lodged in the bones. But you're still going to use water, because later on we come to the question of coffee enemas. That water goes into the body. It needs to be clean. We are going to be using special soup. To cook, you need water. In certain areas, in particular cases, we are going to use herbal teas. You need water. The water has to be clean. Other problem. If your water is fluoridated, you can't even bathe in it because you absorb a lot of fluoride through the skin. Then what do you do? It gets to be very nasty because you have to bathe, just use some distilled water or some reverse osmosis water, warm it in a basin or sink or someplace and do a sponge bath. And maybe once a week, you soap yourself down and have a quick shower knowing full well that it's not going to do you any good. It's a nasty business, but they poison everything around you. And you mustn't put new poisons in your body. Remember, the body is toxic already and deficient. Water has to be clean, should be distilled at best, or at least filtered so that it's clean and has no additives in it. You do need water. You don't drink water because you drink so many juices. In the beginning, many patients are thirsty beyond their 13 glasses of juice. It's a lot of fluid. But they're still thirsty in the night. There's no juice. So what do? Never, never, never. When the body demands something, don't help. Supply the body what it needs. If your body says thirsty, you got to drink. So if there's no juice available and you're not supposed to drink water, what do? Tea, herbal tea. There's some very good herbal teas like peppermint tea. There's some mixed teas for sleeping, and there's some Tahibo or Podarco tea, which is a wonderful anti-cancer tea. There are various herbal teas that are very valuable. Please, not the black tea. Not the tea you're used to, which has fluoride in it. And we have to work a little bit on fluoride. Let me go into that for a moment. Fluoride, excuse the smudge there at the edge. Fluoride is a dangerous business. For those of you who have fluoride in the water, but most of you have chlorine in the water. One of your major organs, one of your major hormone systems is the thyroid. And the thyroid, in order to function, needs iodine. And iodine is transferred by the thyroid into thyroxine and other chemicals and controls the metabolism, which, among other things, helps to control the immune system. Extremely important. Now, as you may know, I need to be able to reach this. In the periodic table, always the lightest chemical is at the top. Now, hydrogen, for instance, just has the nucleus, and it has one closed circle with just one ion on it. So it's very light and it's very powerful. The lighter they are, the more powerful they are. And usually the lighter the chemical, the easier it is able to displace the one below. But the ones below have similar characteristics. Now let's look at this one that's so important. Fluoride. It's called one of the halogens. Fluoride is at the top and is the strongest and the lightest, and is always capable of displacing the ones underneath. So fluoride can displace chlorine. If they add it to your water, it's deadly. And they've shown that fluoridated water increases the cancer curve rapidly because it damages the thyroid. Now, chlorine comes right below that and has similar characteristics and is still very powerful. Now you have chlorine and bleaches, and you have it in your cleansers and in your laundry bleachers, and it's all over the place. And it's in swimming pools and so on. Also very dangerous because it not only replaces or displaces bromine, but iodine. Here's iodine on the bottom. Well, there's one a heavier one. Here's iodine right there. And the iodine, you need for your thyroid to produce the thyroxine. So both fluorides, most powerful, and it's a rat poison. And chlorine, the second but still very powerful, fall into the same group of halogens and can displace this iodine, which you need. And that's the danger. And they put this out for you like nobody's business. It's a terrible thing. And you can't heal once this fluoride continues to be active, because you can't restore the metabolism. You can't restore the hormone system. Everything has to work. Okay, now this is as far as water is concerned. If there are any questions on water, I'll have a little time now.
I read that Epsom salt bathing can bring out toxins.
Epsom salts is also sulfur and other salts. Dr. Gerson advised against even bathing your feet in Epsom salt. No way. Okay, other question? Yes?
The water is used for growing the organic plants that you're eating.
Okay, the water that's used to grow organic plants. The plants are able to filter out, and they're in the soil and they don't necessarily pick up the fluoride. So in the plants it's not so dangerous. Other questions? Up there, please. Loud.
What about, if somebody's involved in sporting activities and they do need to have a much higher intake of fluid?
The intake of fluids?
Yeah. If you're involved in, say, heavy-duty sports activities, how do you cope with that?
In sports?
Yes.
Sir, we are talking about healing seriously ill patients. Sports is out of the question. They're not even going to do exercise. We'll cover that later. Furthermore, 13 glasses of 8 ounces each is over a gallon of fluid, or about a gallon of fluid, plus they also get soups. There's very, very adequate fluid involved. So there's no need to worry about dehydration of fluid or anything like that, okay? Other question? Yes, go ahead.
Plastic bottles.
Plastic bottles are not the best thing in the world. And if you buy water, it'll be in a fresh new plastic bottle which outgasses some. It's not anything near as dangerous as fluoride. It outgasses some. If you get water from rather a large container that's constantly used and reused, it's eventually outgassed and harmless. But yes, there is a little bit of a problem with plastic bottles. Even with water, never put juice or any substance like that into plastic. Okay? Yes?
This is about teas. Some of the teas are about the tea.
What kind of tea?
Well, any kind of tea. You mentioned to use teas and not water if you are still thirsty.
All right.
Right.
The lady is asking about tea. Of course there's water to make tea.
No, some of them are diuretics, so then they cause dehydration if you take them instead of water.
There are various herbal teas that are available and many that are useful and many that we cannot and will not use, but they are detailed. The best tea for the cancer patient, first of all, in order to help stimulate digestion is peppermint tea. We use a lot of that. To soothe and calm, we use chamomile tea. In order to help to fight tumor tissue, we use the Tahibo Podarco tea. There are various teas that are good. There are others that cause diarrheas and are laxative. Absolutely not. Okay, so you have to be selective, very clearly. Okay, one more question. Yes, way back there, gentlemen.
Mineral water.
What about mineral water? What's contained in mineral water? Salt, calcium, chemicals, absolutely out. Spring water is sometimes valuable, valid, many times not, because often spring water also has calcium and other minerals in it, plus they do you a big favor. Because there's no fluoride in it, they often add fluoride. No way. No way. Unless you know exactly what minerals are in that spring water. And usually there's calcium and some magnesium and things in there that change the body balances. You can't do that. Okay.
Where do you get distilled water from? Is it the same that you use in your own?
You get distilled water firstly by making it. That's best. You get your own little distiller, or you have to buy it. Unfortunately here, I understand in London it's very expensive. We can buy a gallon for $1, but it's not that easy here. So if you need distilled water, you have to buy it. It's expensive, or get yourself a little distiller of your own. Okay? If you can catch rainwater and it's clean enough, but you see, have you heard of acid rain? What if it's acid rain? How do you know? Not so simple. Okay? There are a lot of problems. So you have to think it through. Don't just because you read something or hear something, think it through. Now let me move on to the next subject.